So Yegor, to get started, I know a bit about your backstory, but people here probably don't. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in a town in the far east of Russia. It's called Yuzhno-Sahalinsk. Yeah, it's located on the Sakhalin Island. So the name Yuzhno literally translates to like south of Sakhalin, because the city is in the south of that island.
Oh, crazy.
So that island is the part of the same archipelago as Japan. So at the southernmost point, like you can sometimes on a clear day see the northernmost point of Hokkaido of Japan.
Wow.
So it's that close. Yeah, I was born technically in USSR. It was a few months before the end of USSR, so my
Oh,
passport,
crazy.
yeah, in my Russian passport, it still says that the country of like birth is USSR.
So you're like one of the last people who can say that.
Yeah,
Wow, last of a generation.
yeah. I guess I'm like one of the youngest people who can say they're from the USSR.
When you first arrived in Canada, what was that like? Was it what you expected? Was it very different in some ways? Take me to that time when you're first arriving.
Man, I think it was kind of what I expected. And my expectations, I don't know, they were like high, and I didn't know anything negative about Canada. So in my mind, it was kind of like this almost
Utopia.
kind of like a utopia. Yeah, I didn't know anything negative, and I was like, oh. And when I got there, it was pretty much that.
Yeah.
You know, everything like Kelowna campus. I got there end of August, so it was like beautiful, green, new buildings. Obviously, like British Columbia, everybody's super
it's a
nice.
For those who don't know, this is kind of a smaller city near the west coast of Canada. Very, very picturesque. It's a good spot. It was a nice
yeah.
spot.
It's a great spot. Just going like I'd never seen a university campus quite like that. I think.
Yeah.
With just like so much greenery, beautiful new buildings, facilities.
Yeah.
I'm sure like some of the nicest in Russia probably could have the same, but it wouldn't feel like as new as like it almost felt like a little like resort vibe ish, something like that. You know, like combined, just like that spirit of wellness. Just like it was nice to be there. So when I got there, and I guess just like started experiencing the Canadian culture, you know,
Yeah.
just like all the little things like people thanking the bus driver, all of that was kind of new, but you know,
Thanking
cool.
the bus driver.
Yeah, thanking the bus driver. You know, everybody like you know the service staff is like you know smiles to you.
You're like,
always
what is
nice
this
to you.
thank you that people keep throwing
Yeah,
at?
literally like why is the person selling me a sandwich is like so nice and smiling and thanking me afterwards? Like that's not something that I, you know, that hasn't been my experience in Russia, right? It was a lot more like because Russia didn't have
Yeah.
that long history of like you know competition in the free market that leads
Yeah.
to like the greater customer service until everybody is like super nice because that makes a better brand. There it was just like overnight kind of went to like free market, so people were still like you know
How
kind
do
of
we
like,
deal with this?
yeah like kind of barking at you when
Do
they
we
sell
smile?
you
Yeah.
gum.
Okay, has that still carried on till today? Because that's definitely, I would say, a bit of a Russian stereotype. Like, not a lot of smiles, not a lot
Yeah.
of just kind of like a bit more like stoic with the behavior, right?
Yeah, I think now if we're talking about service, I think like nicer service is now much more prevalent. But like, I think it depends on the place. Because like if you're you know at a big hotel or like
Yeah.
big restaurant, the chances are like the manager or the owner like has been abroad, knows the standard, and they like establish the same standard back
Okay.
there. But if you just go like in a small town, you go to like buy some gum at like a kiosk, you might you might very likely just be talking to like a normal, like you know, local person
Yeah.
who would just be like you know have a stoic face.
Okay, so I mean, we can go more into Russia if you want to. There's definitely like Russia for me. It's such a we were just talking last night about how like you were saying there's certain countries that like you can't really make fun of, but like in Hollywood movies can still like make fun of Russians.
Yeah.
It's still like appropriate to be like, oh, look at Russia, it's so
Yeah.
silly, right?
Yeah, and you notice a lot even like on the internet and like in the news whenever like videos get shared or like what gets upvoted. A lot of times it's like images of Russia being less like poor, destroyed, cold, gray, and you just notice that that's there's a reason why that stuff gets upvoted, I guess, and shared. Is because that kind of seems to be the main narrative people are interested. Like nobody wants to in the West. Nobody like wants the idea or like hear about look at something good that happened in Russia. Like people are more entertained.
Do you guys hear that helicopter? They're coming to
get us.
arrest us for talking about
Yeah,
Russia.
yeah. Putin is gonna
Russian
drop.
spy.
Yeah.
Putin.
He's in a helicopter with a rifle. Hell, you say?
That would be good content. That would be a good podcast if Putin like swings down on a rope and like takes Diego away.